My name is Kai Thomas and I'm the creator of Gueraden. Gueraden is a single-player 3D low-poly game where the character has to go around each of the levels and grow seed bombs in order to feed their community. The plot of Gueraden is that a corporation comes into the village and increases the prices of food, which leads to the villagers not being able to access the food as they normally would. So the player who plays the rogue gardener in the game has to go to each part of the village and grow the seed bombs so that they can feed the rest of the village. The game is inspired by two themes, which are guerrilla gardening and mutual aid. Guerrilla gardening is the act of growing plants with vegetables in public spaces, and mutual aid is the exchange of resources for mutual benefit, and it's essential for building strong communities and social movements. At the start of the year, we researched 4 different themes that we found interesting. Mutual aid and guerrilla gardening was one of the interests that I was really passionate about. Last summer, I watched Andrew Zoom's video about solar punk. It was about climate change and what we can do to tackle it. And one of the topics that Andrew was talking about in the video was mutual aid and guerrilla gardening, and how it can address many of the issues in climate change. This definitely sparked my interest into the topic of guerrilla gardening and mutual aid. When it came to mutual aid, I was inspired by the Black Panthers breakfast program. It was a program that the Black Panthers did to feed the poor communities during the 1960s, where they would serve breakfast to the children as they wouldn't have in school. What I really love about mutual aid and guerrilla gardening is that it can be used as a tool for positive change. It can address many of the issues in your community. Community action is another huge theme in Gueraden. In Gueraden, the community's concerns is the lack of access to food. Therefore, the rogue gardener takes these issues and takes action so that everyone can access the food equally. The mechanics and gameplay of Gueraden is quite basic. It's a point-and-click game, so you can use the left-click trigger on the mouse to move, and you can use the number pad keys from 1 to 5 to change the vegetables that you want to cultivate. The other part of the gameplay is the day and night cycle. During the day, the player selects the land that they want to cultivate, and they can also select the plants that they want to grow. Then during the night, they have to sneak around the police so they won't get caught. Gueraden's essentially 2 games in one game. During the day, it's a planning and management game, and then during the night stage, it's a stealth game. I also use mutual aid as a part of the gameplay experience for Gueraden. It's called a social currency. When the player completes a level, the community gives the player currency so that they can buy more vegetables. The rogue gardener is giving their resources to the community via vegetables and plants, and the community is giving the resources to the player so that they can feed more villagers in the wider community.